Hello everyone. So in the last video we covered ad hoc and checklist method of EIA. In this video we will be covering remaining EIA methodologies. Matrix method of EIA. The matrix method provides a clear and organized framework for understanding how different project activities interact with various environmental parameters. It helps in identifying both direct and indirect impacts. This method allows for the evaluation of the degree or magnitude of impacts that project activities have on environmental resources. Now this matrix, it is typically presented as a grid or table. One axis of the matrix displays project activities like construction, operation, or transportation, and the other axis it lists the environmental characteristics or parameters, for example, air quality, water resources, soil, flora, fauna. Let's understand with the help of example what is in the matrix method. Now you can see the rows list different environmental components that might be affected by the project. These include surface water quality, surface water hydrology, air quality, fisheries, terrestrial wildlife habitat, and many more. And the columns, it represent different activities associated with the project that could potentially impact the environment. These include plant construction, pesticide and fertilizer use, raw materials transport, and many more. Now, how you will interpret the metrics? You can see these crosses. Now, the intersections of the rows and columns are marked with a cross to indicate that a particular project activity has a potential impact on a specific environmental component. For example, the intersection of pesticide and fertilizer use and surface water quality has an cross indicating that the use of pesticides and fertilizers can affect the surface water quality. Likewise, you can see if effluent will be discharged, it will have impact on surface water quality. If emissions would be there, it will have no impact on surface water quality. Leopold, Leopold matrix. Now this was designed by Leopold in 1971. This matrix includes 100 specified actions, or you can say project activities, and 88 environmental components. Each interaction between a project activity and an environmental component is assessed for its potential impact. This matrix is structured as a grid with one axis listing the project activities and the other axis listing the environmental components. Each cell in the grid represents the interactions between the specific project activity and environmental component. When an impact is anticipated, means when it will be seen that impact would be there, the relevant cell in the matrix is marked with a diagonal line. The cells are divided into two sections by the diagonal line. The top division, it is used to describe the magnitude or intensity of the impact. The magnitude is often quantified on a scale such as from 1 to 10, indicating the strength or extent of the impact. Then bottom division, it is used to describe the significance or importance of the impact. Significance is also quantified on a similar scale, reflecting the importance or relevance of the impact in the context of the environment. Now, what is the significance and magnitude? Significance, it indicates the theoretical importance or relevance of an impact. It reflects how critical or meaningful an impact is in the context of the environment being assessed. There are various factors which influence significance, like let's take example of spatial extension, means the geographical area affected by the impact. For example, an impact affecting a large area or an ecologically sensitive zone, it will be considered as highly significant. Then if we take example through ecological importance, The importance of the affected area in terms of biodiversity, ecosystem services, or conservation value will be assessed. Then magnitude, it refers to the size, extent, or intensity of the impact. It quantifies how much the impact is present in a given situation. There are various factors influencing magnitude like intensity, the strength or concentration of the impact. For example, high levels of pollution would indicate a high magnitude. If we consider via duration, the length of the time the impact persists, long-lasting impacts are considered to have a higher magnitude. Now each individual impact, it will be estimated by product of significance and magnitude. For example, for a particular project activity, if the magnitude is 5 and significance is 2, so the product is 10, means the individual impact is 10 for a particular project activity. Example of Leopold matrix. Now in this example you can see the columns, it lists different proposed actions or resources which are associated with the project that could potentially impact the environment. These include immigration of labor, dam construction, transmission line, and many more. Then you will see environmental components listed by the rows. Now these rows list different environmental components that might be affected by the project. These include health, spawning of fish, archaeological artifacts, tourism, and many more. Now the intersections of the rows and columns contain two numbers. The number at the top indicates the magnitude of the impact, which will be between 1 to 10, as the scale is from 1 to 10, and number at the bottom indicates the significance of the impact, again from 1 to 10. Now how you will interpret the metrics? Let's take example of this health quality under immigration of labor. Here you can see the top division 5 indicates the magnitude of the impact, and the bottom division 8 indicates the significance of the impact. The overall impact score would be the product of significance and magnitude, that is 5 into 8, 40. So likewise, you will calculate the overall impact score for different activities. A higher score indicates a significant and substantial impact, warranting close attention and possibly strong mitigation measures. Lower scores would indicate less critical impacts. Advantages of matrix method. The matrix method explicitly links specific project actions to their corresponding environmental impacts. This direct correlation helps in understanding how each activity contributes to potential environmental changes. By displaying actions and impacts in a grid format, the matrix provides a clear and straightforward visual representation, which makes it easy to see which activities affect which environmental components and to what extent. The matrix allows for a comprehensive overview of all the potential impacts, ensuring that no significant interaction is overlooked. It systematically considers each project action against various environmental parameters. Then there are also certain drawbacks of this method, like the matrix method may not clearly differentiate between direct impacts and the indirect impacts. Direct impacts are the immediate effects of an action. Indirect impacts are secondary or tertiary effects that occur as a result of direct impacts. So when this method, it won't be able to clearly differentiate between direct and indirect impacts, this can lead to confusion or incomplete understanding of the full range of impacts. For example, a direct impact might be the clearing of vegetation leading to the habitat loss, while an indirect impact might be the subsequent reduction in local biodiversity. The metrics might not clearly delineate these relationships. Then environmental components and the project actions may overlap in their definitions, leading to the same impact being recorded in multiple cells. This can result in double counting, which can exaggerate the perceived severity of certain impacts. Like example, noise pollution from the construction activities might be recorded under both noise levels and wildlife disturbances, leading to an inflated perception of the impact's significance. The matrix method, it is primarily qualitative, focusing on descriptive assessments rather than precise measurements. It does not provide detailed quantitative data on the extent, duration, or intensity of the impacts. For example, an impact might be described as high, but this does not convey specific information about the increase in pollutant levels or the exact area of habitat affected.